Hello, hello. Welcome back to some point-and-click adventures in Dot's home, where the music is absolutely fine. Like, I could just see myself setting this to some background music while I'm at work, just to kind of chill for the night. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead. We can actually go through the door now and see what's going on. Oh, boy. The ceiling is still leaking. Okay, nothing else over there. So we can go downstairs and see if maybe anything's changed.
Dorothea, what are you doing downstairs already? I thought you were sleeping.
I wish.
Well, there's still some mac and cheese if you want to reheat some. Ah!
That sounded... Was that Carlos? Did he go back in the basement?
Yes, that boy just won't stop going down there, even if it kills him.
I should go check on him. Well, let's not waste any time. We're going straight to the basement. Oh! Cheese doodles! Also, the Super Smash Bros. Knockoff has a PlayStation controller? Carlos, what happened? And what is that awful smell? What are you doing down here? I thought I told you not to. Everything is ruined. I couldn't save any of my games. Forget about your games. Come on, we need to get you upstairs and get your inhaler. I don't want to go upstairs. I don't even want to be here. How can you even stay in this house? Something's always falling apart every other week. Carlos, we can talk about this upstairs. Let's go. Grandma should just buy a new house. Mom does it all the time. Why can't Grandma? Oh, geez. She could buy a house where I could breathe. Carlos, I hear you. I really do. But we have to get out of here right now. Come upstairs and we'll talk about it. Oh, geez. This does not bode well for the TV. Oh, and the important documents are all going to be completely shot now because of the water, isn't it?
What in God's grace has been happening here while I was gone? Carlos, are you okay?
Yeah, Grandma, just out of breath. I think a pipe burst or something while Carlos was in the basement playing his game. He was knee-deep in sewer water down there.
Boy, I told you not to play down there.
It's bad enough we already live so close to the industrial plant and their smog. You and I might have been able to get by, but all this is clearly affecting Carlos's asthma. Oh, geez. This is gonna push the whole selling the house for the sake of family. Like, putting family in a better location. Just put a bandage on everything until something like this happens again?
You know your Grandpa Carl used to be the one to fix things up, Dorothea. It's just been so difficult since he's passed.
Grandma, are you honestly okay with staying here? No, you deserve to live out your best life, and I don't want you to have to spend your years in the house that's falling apart.
Do you know what we went through to get here? This house wasn't always our home. Y'all know the start, but not the hows and whys. Before me and your Grandpa Carl left South Carolina, we only had enough to survive our present. But we wanted to build a foundation for our future, so we decided to move up here to Detroit. We walked into this house one day, ended up buying this place. Had us thinking it was a good deal, but there's always finer and finer print. The good deal kept biting us, kept us from any plans we had to improve this old place. Too many friends had the bank take their homes, and I swear we spent too many nights worrying ours would be next. Oh, we can't say we spent a single dollar toward anything but our family's future. So they really listened to my advice. Years passed, and we had Hank, and then Hank met Evelyn. Your mom always pushed Hank to be better and do better, which is why they left here to live in their own apartment. Even though he'd never admit it, your dad's ideas kept getting bigger and bigger so he could make Evelyn's dreams come true. What were Mom's dreams? Yeah, let's see what's going on here. To have a home of her own, a place where she and her family could feel safe. I know Evelyn doesn't talk about it much, but that girl spent a lot of her early years in the struggle. It's exactly why she was so adamant you and Georgia never experienced the same. Since Hank convinced Evelyn to stay in their community and fight for better conditions. Hank and his boy Amos kept throwing every loose scent they had into idea after wild idea. But they did finally strike gold with that podcast of theirs. They actually called it a podcast. Something about housing and crime. They think they called it The Heist. Heck, that radio show exposed the wrongdoings of those rich developers who took over that old apartment building of theirs. Kicked all the old poor families out and built luxury condos with government money. Residents took them to court and actually won. That's how Evelyn and Hank bought themselves that Florida timeshare back when you were in high school. So this wasn't all a dream. I really went back to the past. No matter how it turned out, your parents gave y'all everything. You and Georgia had your own home, and your sister even ended up selling houses herself. Georgia always knew a good deal when she sees one. I mean, I can't just... Now, I know that I had the whole dichotomy of Georgia dealing with Hawkins, or dealing with the house salesman, the real estate guy. But, like, I can't discount Georgia's hard work. It's just a matter of where she places the priority on how to profit from that work that I was kind of questioning a little bit. She's just like your mama. If a good opportunity is in front of her, she won't hesitate to take advantage of it. I guess you're right. Georgia always been something else, though. Maybe it's because she was old enough to remember back when your parents lived in public housing. But she was near righteous about making sure she and Alma were better off. Remember when she wanted to sell that house next door? She only gave up on selling after Alma talked some sense into her. Decided it was about time someone else get the opportunity she got. That the pie was big enough for her family to have plenty and share too. Glad she did, cause the Tallfeeks are good people and good neighbors. Always helping out and with a smile too. That Zizi sure grew up to be beautiful. I bet she's off at camp for the summer. Last I talked to her mom... Oh, I wonder, is it space camp? It's a messy story, I know. It wasn't always clear to us what was right, but it got us all here. We struggled for our place and put down roots for y'all to grow from. Oh, Grandma, I appreciate the history, but why does it matter how long we've been here if we can't stay here because it's falling apart? Dot, you've been quiet. Don't you have something to say about all this? After all, it's your house we're talking about. My house? What do you mean, my house? Child, who did you think was going to get this house after I'm gone? I figured Dad would get it, or even Georgia, since she's the oldest, and a real estate whiz. You know your dad couldn't stand these Michigan winters again. Georgia's asked about it, but once before. Lord knows she's been dreaming for years about what she could do with the property. But I want to give this house to someone who calls it a home. Oh, Grandma! Oh. Yeah, let's start imagining. Okay. So it seems like this is kind of the ultimate decision here. I know at the beginning of the game, Dot's character was very... This is our home, these are our roots, and Grandma was in agreement there. Well, Dot was kind of on the fence here. So it seems like these experiences across 3 generations of housing are pretty much the ultimate decider on what Dot is going to do based on the player decision. And honestly, so apparently Dot is taking care of her nephew, I guess, while her mom is working some other stuff, or whoever the nephew is from anyways. But the house is clearly not good for his health. With everything else falling apart, it might actually be prime to sell the house and try and move somewhere that has some overall opportunities for the family as a whole, where Grandma can live out a good, healthy retirement, where the nephew is not going to be suffering from asthma and mold. I've thought about it. I can see how hard everyone worked to get us here. At the same time, it doesn't always seem like we're constantly on the edge of achieving our dreams. Everything we want is always right out of reach, and with prices going up and people being pushed out, it's only going to get harder to keep up. That's why we should sell this place. One of the key things here is that these characters in this family, they are in a position where they are able to sell this place because they own the house. That, like, if they had been renting this house this whole time, then they wouldn't be able to sell. Like, they would only have whatever savings they had to try and move somewhere else, which is the situation that a lot of people do suffer with. Not everybody has the ability to just sell your house, pocket some cash, and then go and uproot somewhere else. Tons of people don't even have the savings or the property to turn into savings. We've always made our home where we can find it. This neighborhood is changing, and we need to change with it. Well, if that's your decision, I respect it. It's about time I handed the keys to the next generation. Do you remember the door in the basement? I keep what's important in there. Hopefully you don't keep it at the ground level. Inside the room is a lockbox containing the deed to the house. I told you this place was always going to be yours. You'll need this. Oh, a new key. Can't believe I've never gone in here before. Okay, good. The lockbox was not on the ground. Okay, so wait. I was not allowed in here, but it looks like the laundry was in here. So like, was I not allowed to do laundry? Wow, the deed to the house. I wonder what the future has in store. Today's the big potluck over at the Interfaith Community Center, and of course, Alma is leading the charge. I know I'm not in the neighborhood as much these days, but geez, I'm always put to work as soon as I'm back. It's just, we really wanted a place that was ours, you know? Grandma may have given me the keys, but I'll always see that house as hers. Aww. So I moved out to the suburbs and got a place of my own. It's close to work, and we're trying to start a family too. I guess in some strange way, I'm continuing my family legacy of making homes our own, though sometimes I worry if I made the right choice. I hate that Grandma lives up in that house alone. Oh, wait, Grandma stayed? I'm teaching at the charter school, preparing the next generation for greatness. It's a nice job. Oh, English teacher. A charter school with plenty of resources. The kids are well behaved. Too behaved, honestly. Guess I'm used to classrooms where kids are allowed to be kids. Speaking of kids, I haven't seen that nephew of mine in a long time. Carlos barely comes to visit Grandma. That new non-profit architecture job has him working day and night. Not that he minds. Oh, okay, so now she's gotten older, too. He's constantly saying what they're doing is big, making housing affordable for tons of people. Wish he'd put that much enthusiasm into this neighborhood, though. Still, I miss him. Aw. So Carlos has grown up and gotten into construction, too. How appropriate that it's called a Rise Home Stories project, considering it's all about people in their homes. Alright, this was a very short series, I know, but... Huh. So the trailer animation, you know, the animation was nice and smooth too. I did like the little bit of cutscene animation with it going on. The music just kind of drew you in. It was a nice, very chill and mellow background that I could see just kind of putting in as kind of like a little bit of lounge ambiance just while you're in some downtime. And I have to wonder, like, how much of this story pulled from the lives and the experiences of the people that worked on this game? Like, how much of their own family conversations made their way into a project like this? Because it felt like a very personal experience that somebody had gone through. And quite frankly, like, I could easily see how the story and the narrative are very much like 100% the things that people do experience, and I cannot discount that. Wait, what? Oh, okay. No, okay, that was a neutral ending. Oh, snap. There's also a good and a bad... There's a bad ending and a neutral ending. So I got the neutral ending. Huh. Interesting. Well, I guess my decisions maybe could have gone a little different, but I guess we'll have to see what goes on with the future. I'm going to give this a go on my own time, just to kind of see those other endings. I encourage everyone else out there, give this game a look. It was a pretty short experience. Took, less than 2 hours to get through the whole thing, but it is free on Steam, so at your leisure, feel free to check it out. Just to kind of see a little bit of story and narrative that can come from communities that
many of us may not be familiar with. Definitely worth a look, and I appreciate the developers for putting this out. I did see that the studios behind this do have other works on their belt, and I would like to see them, because some of them look like they had some very different looks and feels to them.